What is good? It's your boy P.kidd. This is P.kidd Talks NBA. P.kidd from the Willie to the Breeze. You know what we do. You know how I get down. Let's get into it. The list for all team defensive came out. First team and second team. And I have to sit here and say I'm not surprised by some of these names. The one name that did stand out, he's been trending on Twitter this entire time. Anthony Davis cracking this list. First of all, shout out to him. Got to put a little more respect on Anthony Davis's name, by the way. Because for most people who would sit there and say, well, he's never available, this, that, and the other, guess what? This is his fifth all-team defensive selection. He's had 3 first-team all-defense, 2 second-team all-defense. Guess what? When he's available, when he's healthy, he shows up, he shows out on both ends of the floor. And I'm just happy to see that he's finally getting the acknowledgement because I do feel like people took the street clothes thing a little too far for somebody who at his size who does what he does. Like Anthony Davis puts in work. But surprise notable for me was actually Herb Jones. I didn't expect him to be first team. I don't know why I didn't expect him to be first team, if I'm being honest. I really expected it to be, if I'm being honest, Drew Holiday or even Jaden McDaniels, who they did fall into the second team. We'll get into that a little later. But shout out to him. Shout out to New Orleans. Shout out to Bam. Again, somebody from the Heat had to be on there. Heat is definitely a grit and grind team. If you don't have Bam up there or anybody else up there, I'm surprised Jimmy's not even in that. You crazy because, I mean, they lock you down, right? But Victor and Rudy is a no-brainer. Victor, who I also had as the defensive player of the year. Some people call me crazy. Even some people on this channel, believe it or not. Whatever. Because Rudy Gobert is a great help defender. I agree with 100% with what Gilbert Arenas said. Great help defender. He is not as good on ball. But, again, shout out to him. He makes his 7th. Again, count it. Rudy Gobert makes his 7th first team all defensive selection. Can't hate on the man for that. Again, he's DPOY for so many times for a reason. But that rounds out the first team. Second team also comes in. Alex Caruso. I made a video on the Chicago Bulls breeze. If you want to be more in tune with the Bulls, go check that out right there. See, listen, shameless plug. Shameless plug. We do, you know what we do. But Alex Caruso leads off with most votes on the second team. Jalen Suggs. Interesting name. Didn't see that one coming personally. Ooh, almost messed up my mic. Interesting name. Didn't see that one coming, but he comes in with the second most votes, second total points, with his selection. This is his first all defensive selection, with Derek White being third. Jaden McDaniels cracking the list, as I mentioned earlier, and Drew Holiday, who gets busy against the Pacers in just a few minutes at the time of this recording. And so, realistically, guards, I think no one would actually sit there and say, oh, no. Maybe you would sit there and rank some of them higher, but if you've been following what they've been doing, how they've put on for their city, how they've put on for their particular teams, everyone on this list is well-deserved. So shout out to them. This is actually a really good list. I have no gripes with it. I have no gripes with Anthony Davis, for sure, because that is always going to be the talk. Not available, this, that, and the other. Anthony Davis, like I said at the beginning of this video, been putting in work. So shout out to him. Great selections here. Let me know your thoughts. Is there some people who you felt should have been in consideration, should have been voted? I think there's maybe one. If I'm going to be honest, if I have to add one person here to any of this list, to any first or second team, I'm just probably second team. I have to say Anthony Edwards not being up there is kind of crazy because his on-ball defense, to me, is pretty good. And it could be recency bias in what he put Jamal Murray through, but he's kind of been doing that all season. But I haven't really looked at the stats. It's mostly just going off the top of my head as I looked at this list and just thinking about some of the best defenders. Drew Holiday's up there, yeah, so, I mean, that's cool. Jimmy Butler, I think, was somebody who I thought, hey, as an on-ball defender, that dude is pretty good. Kind of surprised he didn't make it. He could be potentially make the later list. But we'll see. We'll see. But that's it for this particular list, man. Whether it's love, whether it's hate, put it in the chat. If you have anyone that you think should have been on this list, or if you have any feedback of what caught you off guard. Many people are still talking about Anthony Davis. Many people are still talking about Herb Jones. But I want to hear your thoughts. What the stuff others say, put it in the chat like I mentioned again. Till next time. Peace.